talking with Grace, she was gracious enough to say, you know what, I'm going to get my staff working on this. And by the way, for staff sitting at the center table over here, I'm doing that intentionally because there's stuff in their face right now. Pointing them out. They do a wonderful job for the chamber here in Macomb County, and they're a good working relationship, partnership with the local municipalities. We have a number of chambers, very well-established chambers, and Macomb Regional Chamber happens to be one that's a good working partner with those of us in the various communities they represent. As sheriff, one of my responsibilities and roles is providing public safety. So one of the concerns I have is where we're headed into the future basically is being forced upon us because of the financial constraints that we're all under. And the unfortunate reality is I think some of these changes should have been brought about based upon the fact that there was a need to do it because it is a cost savings to the taxpayers. We're being forced into some of the changes that we're making right now only because of the financial problems we're seeing. A city that was kind of our county seat, that happened to be the city of Mount Clemens, a few years ago had to make a decision. It was a very difficult decision, and it was basically trying to make a determination how do they consolidate a service that is one of the most primary services provided to the public, and that was their policing service. The city officials had come to us and asked if there was a possibility for contracting one of the oldest, one of the longest established cities in the county itself. Had to make a decision as to whether or not they were going to disband their police department. It was a very, very trying decision to make for the elected officials. Many within the community were concerned as to whether or not they really wanted to see their own local control being taken away and having a sheriff's agency, the sheriff's department, take over that municipality's policing services. For me as sheriff, it was difficult because obviously the politics that played into this were very intense. And in the relationship we had with many of the officers that worked in that community, as you can imagine, as employees, they were very concerned about their livelihood, meaning their jobs, their employment status, their retirement status. There was many things that came into play. The big concern that some of the residents had put into play was the fact that they were worried whether or not the sheriff's department, mostly they get the impression that we just deal with some of the rural areas within the county. We don't understand urban policing. And that reality really was one that was not of a concern to us, particularly since the county sheriff's department is in the county seat, and we're pretty much in the backyard of the city of Mount Clemens. We travel through that area on a consistent and continuous basis. We recognize that one issue was one that we had to work on as a law enforcement agency to get the residents and the public in that area to know that their service was not going to go, it was going to be diminished. It was going to be as good if not better. And to try to get people to understand it was a very difficult thing. But the hard part about figuring out the consolidation effort was a combined effort with the city officials as well as the county. What we had to do is bring into play the various services we provide. Our human resources had to come in and understand exactly what are we doing to transfer those jobs and responsibilities. As sheriff, we knew there was a date ahead that this was going to happen. After they decided to expand the police department, and then they decided to go ahead and move forward with the contract with the sheriff's office, a date was set. It was approximately 6 months to 9 months out. I don't remember the exact month term, or the term itself. But within that period of time, we recognized that we had put positions on hold within the department through attrition. Various corrections positions, deputies positions, expand positions. And the reason we did that, we didn't hire. We didn't hire more people to come in because we wanted to do was leave the vacancies available for those officers that were about to lose their jobs. And in that process, we prepared for this attritional process. We planned ahead because we knew this was going to happen. It wasn't something the city was automatically forced to do, get rid of their police officers, and they had nowhere to go. Our department was able to take them on. Now, granted, we didn't take on every officer because we still have the civil service process where they have to meet certain qualifications to come on in. And then there was still a review board that we had to take a look at each and every one of those officers. But pretty much every officer in that department was given a job offer, all but one. A couple of them decided not to because they took other job opportunities elsewhere. But the reality was this change occurred. It did happen. And that is the hardest part for municipalities and government leaders is to lead the change. Most of the time we're sitting here waiting for it to be forced upon us. It happened. There was criticism. There were people that were very critical. And it was challenging, and there's absolutely no question it was a tough road that we had to lead into. But we did it. And as a result, I think if you asked any one of the city officials, if you asked the residents, the business people within the community, most of them are extremely satisfied with the service that's provided by the sheriff's office. Most of the officers that now work in our department are satisfied with the employment status that they currently have. And without question, the bottom line to the budget of the city of Mount Clemens was a tremendous advantage. They really did save a substantial amount of money, and Doug will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's approximately $1 million a year that they're saving their budget annually as a result of this change. And I have to say, not just because I'm the sheriff and running the sheriff's department, but I think it truly enhanced their service. Now, I'm not here telling you that you need to get rid of your police department to take on the role of having the sheriff as your primary service provider, because by being the chief of police in Mount Clemens, I didn't get any more money, but I got a whole lot more headaches. Okay? There was no advantage for the sheriff's department to do this, but it was the right thing to do. And there's no question about it. The way it's being done is being done in the right way. We talk about collaboration, consolidation. The sheriff's office today is currently a central dispatch. We provide dispatching services to municipalities, fire, police, EMS, throughout the county, mainly in the north end of the county. Right now, we're trying to figure out, can we start moving toward centralized dispatch for the entire county? Is it a possibility? We're also looking at centralizing the lockup, meaning a central lockup for all prisoners so that there's one location. I call it one-stop shopping. When a prisoner is arrested, they're brought into one location and they're processed through that. The savings isn't just with you, with local municipalities giving up their local lockups so that the police can be out on the streets instead of watching prisoners. It is a tremendous savings for the entire system. How so? Because when somebody is assessed at that front end, the minute they get there, we have prosecutors, we have mental health staff, we have people that deal with substance abuse that touch that prisoner the minute they come into that door 24/7. We do that currently with the sheriff's office. And we would do that for each municipality to come in and make a determination. Do we need to push them through the system that we normally push them through, meaning in touching the prosecutors, they make an assessment, how are we going to charge these people, and then progress to the prosecution phase. There are, and we have, ways of looking at deferred sentences or deferment pieces to this for substance abuse, for people with mental health, and then even the homeless come into play. I'm just talking about an area that's specific to what my responsibilities are currently. That's as sheriff. I have a feeling there are many other ways and many other areas within county government and local municipalities that we can consolidate. We can start to, incorporate some of those services that we're doing and share some of the responsibilities. And I know there's a true cost savings there. It's going to be forced upon us, but I think we need to lead that change. Mount Clemens, working along with the county, I think we showed that there was the opportunity to do so, and we led that change prior to Mount Clemens being forced to do that. And I think if you look today, most people are very satisfied with that decision they made. So I'm encouraged by this program here, and I'm encouraged by the fact that you're here to listen and kind of give some insight for your particular organizations or municipalities, so that we can start looking at what we need to do together to try to make it much more cost effective, but yet still be able to provide the services that the public still demands. So with that, I'd like to introduce an individual that is a very supportive person and always has been, not as a sheriff, but as a kind of a personal mentor, if you will, in politics. And I've learned a lot from. He wants to take the microphone away because he doesn't have these wonderful things that I have to say about him, because then that's all he's got is a way to fail from that process. But Bob Cannon, this guy is he's a township supervisor here, but he's more than that. I think most people throughout this county have a great deal of respect and understanding about him. He's a guy that knows how to lead, not just within his political structure within the township, but he's also a guy that knows how to reach out and impact other municipalities. And this is one of those issues that's near and dear to his heart, and he's going to share with you a couple examples of consolidation within the township of Clinton as well. Bob Cannon, everybody.
You usually see why all the mayors and supervisors in Macomb County, including the Republicans, are supporting Mark Hackel to be county executive, because this is the type of attitude that we need to permeate all of our areas. I want to first talk about SEMCOG. When I was first elected supervisor in 2000,